Let us close our eyes. Let us bring attention to the breath, remembering Sri Gurudev's teaching that the Master's presence is in the breath. In every breath, perceiving, remembering Guru's presence. ॐ सदाशिवसमारम्भं श्यामाचरणमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तं वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करम् ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मैति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये नमः. May the blessings of masters, may the blessings of saints and sages guide us in our speech, in our listening. May we feel the presence of God and Gurus in and around. Om Tat Sat Om. Thank you again for joining. We have been discussing the Bhagavad Gita. We mostly covered all the chapters except chapter 6. Today we are going to cover chapter 18. Because of lack of timing, uh, not able to talk about chapter 6. Little bit about chapter 6 today is that the name of the chapter is Atma Sanyama Yoga. It is actually a chapter where practical instructions have been given to control the mind for meditation. So, if time permits, we'll do that some other time. Today, we will focus our time on chapter 18. Before that, let us meditate on Mother Gita. If you have the book or if you know the Gita Dhyanam, the first one, please chant with me. Om Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Gratitam Purana Munina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitamrutavarshiniam Bhagavatim Astadasadhyayinim Ambatva Manusandadhami Bhagavat Gite Bhavadveshinim. May the blessings of Divine Mother, the Bhagavad Gita, be upon us all. So Lord has been having a conversation with Arjuna. In our case, if we put ourselves as Arjuna, the Master is having a conversation with us. For last 17 chapters, there has been back and forth. Arjuna is asking, Lord is answering. Sometimes Lord's answer is confusing Arjuna. So Arjuna is clarifying that again. Sometimes Lord is telling about knowledge, sometimes telling about devotion, sometimes telling about action, sometimes telling about surrender. In the 17th chapter, Lord has given some aspects of the divine nature of this creation as well, how this creation is working, how the sense organs of each and every human being is interacting with the world, how the mind is functioning. Like that, a very detailed understanding of human nature has been given between chapter 1 and chapter 17. Now, it is not a simple conversation that we imagine. The Lord is giving this information because if we go back to the first question of Arjuna, Arjuna did not want to fight. Arjuna did not want to do his duties. And Lord is telling everything. His instruction started from chapter 2, and his instruction is going to end in chapter 18. All this is to convince through knowledge that it is right, it is proper, it must be done to do your duties. So, with that, the uh, name of the 18th chapter is called Mukhya Sannyasa Yoga, or sometimes it is called as Mukhya Yoga as well. Many masters say the reason of Mukhya Sannyasa Yoga means that you also, as an individual, as a spiritual practitioner, also live the desire for liberation. Because they say that when you leave the desire for liberation, then pure devotion or Shuddha Bhakti comes to you. So, hence, this chapter, the 18th chapter, teaches us how to even not seek liberation. There is an Upanishad called Niralamba Upanishad, where it has been said also, a sadhaka or a spiritual practitioner also need to remove the idea of liberation from himself. And then only pure devotion or pure joy will come to him or her. Some masters, the Kriya masters, say that it is called Moksha Yoga. They say that Moksha Yoga means to remain in self, Swarupa Sthiti. If we study the Yoga Sutra, in the Yoga Sutra, says Patanjali, it says that the objective of meditation is Swarupa Sthiti, or to remain in self. He says Yogaha Chittavritti Nirodha. Then he says Tadadrashtu Swarupa Avasthanam. That means the meditator must withdraw himself to remain in self. That is the objective of meditation. So the Kriya Master says that the whole reason why Lord is conversing with Arjuna is that to tell him that you must remain in yourself. So that is the reason they say. Swarupa Sthiti also means Brahma Sthiti, means to remain in Lord. It also means union of self or the jiva or the individual self with the supreme self. The 18th chapter is actually a divine discourse of summarization of everything that has been spoken by Lord in first 17 chapters. And the ultimate result is to resolve Arjuna's confusion or um, his helplessness when Arjuna decided that it is not worth to fight and to destroy that idea, and also to inject the idea of strength, fearlessness, and clarity to Arjuna. That is the whole discussion of the Bhagavad Gita. And Lord is also giving assurance in this chapter that, look, if you do your action with perfect understanding, if you do your duty with proper understanding, then you would be free. There would be no um, sorrow, or you will not be dejected anymore. So that is the assurance Lord has given. Duties must be performed without selfishness, attachment, and also to surrender to divine. This is the main teaching of chapter 18. In chapter 18, it starts with a question from Arjuna. Arjuna says that you have spoken about sannyasa and also you have spoken about tyaga. Please define those, what it means. And Lord says there are two kinds of understanding. Sannyasa is to not perform any action within a selfish interest. So if you desire to do some action, sometimes some action attracts us and we do. Lord says that if somebody is able to withdraw from that, that is called as sannyasa. Then Lord says, uh, Tyaga means that when you do an action, but you get disconnection or detachment from the result, then it is called tyaga. This detachment, whether you detach from activities or detach from result, they both are same. Lord says these there are three types. Many times we do not do some action. Many times we avoid doing some action, and Lord says, be clear that what is the reason for it, what is prompting you to do that. So he has identified, he has categorized into three activities: sattvic, rajasic, and tamasic. So Lord says that if you have some obligation to do and you don't do it, then it is the worst, it is the lowest type of, excuse me, detachment, and it is not going to help you. So suppose you have a duty to do something for the family, for the society, for your own self. Lord says, oh Arjuna, if you do not do that, then that won't be called as sannyasa or tyaga. Then Lord says, again, if you do not do an action or activities because that activity is painful, because that activity is bringing um, fear to you, then that is also not going to help you. So we should in our life to be very cautious and ask ourselves, if I am not, if I'm hesitating to do something, what is the reason behind it? Is it because it is a duty and I do not want to perform my duty? Or it is because the work is painful for me or I don't want to do that? Lord says, either way, this is not going to be helpful. What is going to be helpful? That if we abandon attachment to the work and as well as to the result. If we abandon attachment to the work, it would be called as sannyasa. And suppose we get attached to work but abandon attachment to the result, it would be called tyaga. And Lord says, this only is going to bring knowledge to you. Then Lord says that suppose some some of us claim that no, I am doing proper, I am not doing these activities because I really am detached from it. Many times we see people show their detachment. They say that I am detached from this. Lord says, how do you know, how do you identify somebody who is detached, somebody who is renunciation, somebody who is practicing renunciation? How do you, what are the signs of it? Whether somebody else or it can be, it is something that we can look at ourselves. The person will have a purified mind. The person will have a purified intelligence. The person will not have hatred or attachment to work. Some, suppose I like some work, pleasant work I would like to do. Some work needs to be done, but it is not very pleasant and I don't want to do. Lord says that if you see that kind of distinction in yourself, then you know that your detachment is not complete. Then, when a result comes, the result, as we discussed earlier, whenever we do an action, and it will come in about little more about it, whenever we do an action, there would be result. The result can be good, the result can be not good, and the result can be mixed with good and not good mixed together. So Lord says that you would see the person as pure, that person who has renounced would not be affected by the result. He would not be affected by good result. He would not be affected by not good result as well. Here, in the next understanding, I would like to be a little careful because this is fundamental to understand action. Let us see, whenever we do an action, there would be result. We do not know what the result would be. We cannot know. Why is that? It is because Lord has given 5 components that goes into an action. So let us say that action is a project there are five dependencies. There are five inputs that is going to the project. What are those? First one is adhisthanam, where the action is being performed. Second one is karta or the doer, who is performing that action. The third one is karana or the instruments. What are the instruments the person is using to perform that action? Fourth one is chesta or the effort that is being put together. If we look at any activities that we do, these four things can be very clearly identified. We know where we are doing activity. Suppose we are taking food, we know where we are taking food, who is taking food, how we are taking food, how much effort we are taking to eat it. Similarly, any activities, we are giving an exam, where the exam is getting conducted, who is giving the exam, how we are giving the exam, how we are answering it, and how much effort we have put to prepare ourselves. These four is easily visible. Sometimes it is not so easy to change it. You cannot change, for example, the place of exam. This is not in our control. The fifth one, Lord says, which we call as luck. Lord has called it as daiva. It can be called as grace, blessings. It can be called as result of past actions. Whatever it is, whether it is luck, present of the result of last action, or God's grace, or blessings of elders, we cannot know what that factor is. Since we do not know that, we can never predict the future. We can never predict the result because one of the components of this from the action we cannot predict. Hence, the master says that because you don't know all the five, the fifth one is completely out of your knowledge, out of your vision. Hence, you will never have clear picture what the result will be. And what can be the result? The result can be good. Result can be, it says that the master said that there can be four types of result. Very good, more than expected, less than expected, expected, or opposite of expectation. And a true practitioner must prepare himself or herself that whatever comes, whether it is come as expected, more than expected, less than expected, or opposite, it won't disturb me. It won't agitate me. That is what Lord is asking us to do. That understand that even if you get agitated, it is useless because you are not, you cannot change anything. You do not know the blessings part of it. The fifth component you do not know. So it is prudent, it is intelligence to understand that if you do not have control over something, it is futile to get worried about it. We don't have control over tomorrow's weather. Hence, to get agitated because of tomorrow's weather, it is actually foolishness. So Lord is telling is that understand this, that out of five things that goes into action, one thing is not in your vision. Then Lord talks about knowledge, jnanam, action, karma, karta, doer, intellect, buddhi, firmness, dhriti. Lord says that these are very critical to your own self, and this can help you to go forward, can drag you down, or can agitate you. It has sattvic component, rajasic component, and tamasic component. When you have time, you please go through it, how it works. The one that is little bit more important for us to discuss today is happiness. So many times people say, somebody says, are you happy? I said, yeah, I'm happy. I had a friend who used to go to with friends on Fridays to drink, to bars and to hang out with friends. So I used to ask him, I said, are you happy? He said, yeah, I'm happy. Then I'll meet him on Monday or Sunday. I'll say, how is it? He said, oh, you know what? I've been sleeping for 10 hours. And it's so boring. Like I feel so down. So Lord has very clearly identified, has given some clarity to understand what exactly we could call as happiness. So Lord has divided happiness into three types. Lord says that if the happiness is coming through delusion, like sleep, laziness, carelessness, that happiness is not good for you. So we should sleep. We should sleep sometime. It is necessary. But suppose somebody says, I love sleeping and sleep 16 hours a day, it would be actually detrimental to health and mind. Actually, Lahiri Baba has said in one place that if you sleep more, you will be more materialistic. You can't help it. Because why? Because that would make the mind more material, more tamasic. And tamasic people would be more materialistic. So Lord says that if you are spending more than what is needed from sleep, if you are spending time in laziness, if you are incorporating or cultivating carelessness, then know that even if it gives you temporary joy, temporary happiness, it is detrimental to you. It is poison to you afterwards. Then Lord says, this is the first type. The second type is a little better than the first, is if you are getting pleasure out of sense organs. So suppose I like sweet, and whenever I get some sweet, I really feel happy about it. And then I suffer because of sugar increase. So Lord says that kind of happiness which comes in the beginning and becomes poison at the end, that is called Rajasic happiness, and it is also not good for you. Many times we do things because it feels good to do, and then we repent. Many times we justify things and we say that it was better that I did that. Then we realize that it was not actually good for me nor for society. Lord says, avoid that. The one that is uh, beneficial to a sadhaka or a spiritual practitioners, that any action or any happiness that is constant and that brings mental peace, tranquility, Lord says that cultivate that. Even if even if it is poison in the very beginning, even if it is difficult in the very beginning, you cultivate it is because it is going to bring happiness that will sustain, that will not go away. Meditation is one of them. Meditation is not easy. Meditation is not, we don't sit eyes closed and suddenly go somewhere. No, we struggle. We struggle so much that sometimes what we do not want comes to our mind. Lord says, even if that happens, you continue practicing because that's going to bring joy afterwards and it will sustain. Then Lord gives the four categories of people in the society. We call them Brahmins, Kshatriyas, Vaishya and Shudra. Usually it is attached to the caste system, but it is not so. It is called Varna Ashrama, and Lord says this has been divided according to the characteristics of that person. And he says, Brahmana, if you consider yourself as Brahmana, then you should reflect serenity, self restraint, austerity, and purity. You should have forgiveness, uprightness, knowledge, realization, and believe in God, believe in truth. If you have a Kshatriya, you should reflect strength, valor, generosity, and also lordliness. If you are a Vaishya, you should know how to do trade, agriculture, and if you are Shudra, then you would reflect a serviceful attitude. Lord says that it doesn't matter what you are, if you do your duty properly with God consciousness, then this will lead to the highest objective, that is freedom. He says, do not look after others' duties as better than yours because that is not right. Look at yourself, analyze yourself, and find what exactly is you are being prompted to do, and do that activities with surrender. Lord says that, look, I am in all. And this is very important because this is our practice. Lord says, I am in all, and through my elusive power, I am moving everybody. And this is the core of Kriya teaching, that God is in all. God is in all. Second, the first one is God is in me. And that is actually fundamentally brings the mind or changes the idea of the mind to be inwardly reflected. Because I am in all, Lord says, because I am in all, I am in you, then he says, do one thing. Take refuge in me, remember me, surrender to me, bow to me, and through my grace, you will get absolute peace, and eternal joy. Now, in our practice, Sannal Mahasi has many times have told that you pray to your Atma, you pray to Atma Guru, um, and you ask blessings from your own self within. That is Guru Kripa, that is Atma Kripa. After all this, then Lord says to Arjuna, he says, look, I have given you the most secret, the secret of secret knowledge to you. He says, now I would request you to reflect on it and do what you feel right. This is actually a very beautiful tradition in Vedic tradition, that the teacher does not, the guru does not impose anything on the student. Same thing we find in Yoga Sutra. He says that yatha abhimata dhyanatva. If you do not know, if you do not think whatever I am teaching you is going to lead you to meditation, find a methodology and practice meditation. Apparently, no guru in Vedic tradition should impose views on the disciple. The guru's only and only responsibility is to teach, to give the ideas, and allow the student to take it up. Can you think of when your guru will come and tell you that, look, I have told you whatever I have to tell you, now do whatever you want? Sometimes we feel, is he abandoning me? Is he just letting me do whatever I want? Is he not going to be with me? To address that, Lord says, keep the mind in me, be devoted to me, worship me, bow to me, as I mentioned earlier, and through that you will get me. Then Lord is asking, oh Arjuna, surrender to me, surrender to the inner self. I told you everything that I need to tell you. Did you hear this with attention? Are you convinced? Did it help you to remove your delusion? Is your delusion removed? Or after the whole, this is where the teachings of Lord is ending, and the Lord is asking, did I help you? Did I convince you that what you're doing is not proper? That means to get out from the battlefield. Is your delusion over? Arjuna says, oh Lord, yes, my delusion is destroyed. My memory means my intellect, my sharp intellect has come back. I have gained intellect. And through your grace, I am going to do what you have said me to do. What has Lord said? Lord has not said to go and kill. Lord had said that understand yourself and do your duty. At the end of the Bhagavad, this is the ending of conversation between Arjuna and Shri Krishna. At the end of the Bhagavad Gita, Sanjaya is telling to Dhritarashtra. Here we can tell it is being told to ourselves that wherever is Krishna, wherever is Dhanurdhara Arjuna, there would be prosperity, there would be victory, there would be happiness or joy, and there would be firmness. I looked at what the Kriya Masters are telling about it. The Kriya Masters are telling is that the moment the sadhaka realizes that God is within, or the master or the guru is within, and the guru is also has taken a form in front of me, and I am Dhanurdhar Arjuna. Dhanurdhar Arjuna means I am the sadhaka. Wherever there is guru, wherever there is disciple, when they come together, there would be prosperity. There would be prosperity in sadhana. There would be vijaya. There would be victory in sadhana. Victory over the sense organs. Victory over the mind. There would be happiness. There would be mental peace. And there would be firmness. That means the sadhak would be able to hold on to knowledge, hold on to ideas very nicely. If the master and disciple are together, all these things are going to happen. The sadhaka means our own self. We are the warrior. The guru or the master within is our charioteer. And the situation is that the charioteer is going to lead us, inspire us, and then we are going to fight for our own victory. It is said, Yataha Krishnaha Tataha Jayaha. Wherever there is Krishna, Krishna here means Atma Krishna or Sri Guru. Wherever there is master, there would be victory. That means that hold on to the master, hold on to the teaching as much as possible, and there will be victory definitely. With this, with the grace of God and Gurus and Divine Mother Bhagavad Gita, we did whatever we could to summarize all 18 chapters. We'll have today is our last class. We'll have a kirtan. So stay back, give us a minute or two, and we'll meet you in a minute or two. Okay. Thank you and welcome back. So today we have Brahmachari Sarojji, Swami Omkaranandji and Swami Satswarupanandji, and Swami Divyaswarupanandji has been with here for a long period of time. So thank you, Swamiji. So today we'll sing and chant Lord's name together.
Hari Om. Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram Sitaram 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 kahiye Sitaram 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 kahiye जाहि विधि रखे राम ताहि विधि रहिए जाहि विधि रखे राम ताहि विधि रहिए सीताराम 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 कहिए सीताराम सीताराम जाहि विधि रखे राम ताहि विधि रहिए जाहि विधि रखे राम ताहि विधि रहिए सीताराम 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 कहिए, सीताराम जाहि विधि रखे राम, ताहि विधि रहिए। जाहि विधि रखे राम, ताहि विधि मुख में है राम नाम, राम से बहात में। मुख में है राम नाम, राम से बहात में। मुख में है राम नाम, राम से बहात में। मुख में है राम नाम, राम से बहात में। तू अकेला नहीं प्यारे, राम तेरे साथ में। तू अकेला नहीं प्यारे, राम तेरे साथ में। सीताराम सीताराम, सीताराम कहिए, सीताराम सीताराम, सीताराम कहिए। जाहि विधि रखे राम, ताहि विधि रहिए। जाहि विधि रखे राम, ताहि विधि रहिए। विधि का विधान जान, हानि लाभ सही। 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 जाहि विधि रखे राम, ताहि विधि रहिए। जाहि विधि रखे राम, जाहि विधि रखे राम, ताहि विधि रहिए। जाहि विधि रखे राम, ताहि विधि किया अभिमान तो फिर मान नहीं पाएगा। 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 होगा प्यारे वो ही जो श्री राम जी को भाएगा। होगा प्यारे वो ही जो श्री राम जी को भाएगा। सीताराम सीताराम, सीताराम कहिए, सीताराम सीताराम, सीताराम कहिए। जाहि विधि रखे राम, ताहि विधि रहिए। जाहि विधि रखे राम, ताहि विधि रहिए। फल आशा त्याग कर काम करते रहिए। फल आशा त्याग सब काम करते रहिए। जाहि विधि रखे राम ताहि विधि रहिए, जाहि विधि रखे राम। सीताराम 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 कहिए, सीताराम सीताराम जाहि विधि रखे राम ताहि विधि रहिए, जाहि विधि रखे राम। धन्यवाद निर्विवाद राम नाम कहिए, धन्यवाद धन्यवाद निर्विवाद राम नाम कहिए, धन्यवाद जाहि विधि रखे राम ताहि विधि रहिए, जाहि विधि रखे राम। सीताराम 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 कहिए, सीताराम सीताराम जाहि विधि रखे राम ताहि विधि रहिए। सीताराम 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 कहिए, सीताराम जाहि विधि रखे राम ताहि विधि रहिए। सीताराम 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 कहिए, जाहि विधि रखे राम ताहि विधि रहिए। सीताराम 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 कहिए, जाहि विधि रखे राम ताहि विधि रहिए, जाहि विधि रखे राम ताहि विधि रहिए। बोले सद्गुरुदेव भगवान की।
So this is a beautiful song, and it's very is a God's grace that whatever we were discussing today, this has been written down as a song. I will translate it for those who could not understand. So it says, take the name of Lord as much as possible and accept and tolerate the condition you are in, that and bring peace to yourself. Take Lord's name and serve the Lord. Serve the Lord, the masters have said, serving the Lord means serving the world, serving the humanity. You are not alone. It is said that Lord is always with us. We discussed today that God is within us and God is in everyone. Know that there is a law, a spiritual law going on, and accept success and failure, and accept success and failure so that the mind remains peaceful, and make an effort again. Do not be egoistic and you will never get respect. If we become egoistic, then respect will not come to us. Whatever is Lord's will, that means whatever is happening is going to happen. detach or abandon the desire to see good result. Today we discussed tyagi, and continue doing auspicious activities, and Lord will keep you in good place. जिंदगी के जोर शोर. Then says that the life itself is not completely within our hand. Certain things have come with us, certain things are destined. Accept that and take Lord's name. Then it says, do not be confused, do not get into conflict in life. Take Lord's name, and in whichever condition Lord has kept, accept it. That would help us to remain peaceful and move forward. So this is the meaning of the song. We'll chant Mahamrutyunjay mantra 3 times and Purnamada afterwards. ॐ त्र्यम्बकं यजामहे सुगन्धिं पुष्टिवर्धनम् उर्वारुकमिव बन्धनान् मृत्योर्मुक्षीयमामृतात्. ॐ त्र्यम्बकं यजामहे सुगन्धिं पुष्टिवर्धनम् उर्वारुकमिव बन्धनान् मृत्योर्मुक्षीयमामृतात्. ॐ त्र्यम्बकं यजामहे सुगन्धिं पुष्टिवर्धनम् उर्वारुकमिव बन्धनान् मृत्योर्मुक्षीयमामृतात्. ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते. ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति. Thank you again for joining these sessions on the Bhagavad Gita. All of us hope that it definitely was not enough to discuss everything. We hope that this will inspire all of us to study the Bhagavad Gita in a systematic manner, to get deeper understanding of Lord's teaching. At the same time, to see, as Lord has again and again said, to look at the change in our own self, to see whether what is being taught to us is getting reflected in our characters. So, I personally hope that with God's grace, this happens to all of us. Again, thanking every one of you there, from every one of us here, and also thanking Swamijis for joining this program, and thanking Sampunanma, who is painstakingly doing all the technical activities. Matt Baba is in USA and doing lot of software work for this program. Swami Divyaswar Pananji has been quietly listening in the back of the camera. May the blessings of God and Gurus be upon us all, guiding us, protecting us in each and every moment. Just a little news, July 5th is Guru Purnima, which is Saturday, which is Sunday, which is Sunday. So we are hoping, we are still working on it. On July 4th, we'll have a special spiritual music dedicated to masters. It would be led by Swami Omkaranandji, and Satsurapananji is assisting him to organize this. So it would be 45 minutes program. It would be, we hope it would be hosted in the presence of Sri Guruji and other monks of the ashram, and it would be broadcasted to all over the world. The timings are not clear yet. Please keep an eye on your email and communication, and please join. Again, thanking you. May the blessings of God and Gurus be upon us all. Om Tat Sat Om.